Did you encounter wildlife in the Minnewanka area?
Oh, we had lots of it. We had deer that used to come to the house for nibblings, which there was no regulation about feeding the wildlife then. We didn't know it was bad for them. And we had lots of birds, chickadees and jays, gray jays that came particularly, and flying squirrels. And then we had bears, and most of the bears were they respected us and we respected them, but every once in a while there'd be a bad one. And there was one, I think there's something wrong with it because it came to the house and was walking around the house trying to get in and drooling and whatnot, and we had to phone the wardens to come out and shoot it. And because we were absolutely trapped in the house, you know.
Well, you were trapped in the house.
Well, yeah, we were in the house and the bear was around and around trying to get in.
Interesting.
Yeah. And another time, a smaller black bear, half, you know, 2/3 grown, I guess, was trying to get into, we kept chickens, and was trying to get into the chicken yard. And we often had bears trying to do that. We used to just yell at them and chase them away. Mother went up the hill with a broom to swat the bear, and the bear took after her. I looked out the kitchen door. I just put on my boots to go out, and here was Mother running down the hill with the bear after her, and she came tearing in the kitchen door, and I slammed the door as she came in. and so that taught us a lesson that it was best to take other means to scare the bears away than just going out and swatting them with a broom.
That's interesting. That must have left quite an impression.
Yes, it made a great impression on me.
Now, did you, as far as school goes, did you catch a bus to school, or did you?
Oh no. What usually happened was, well, originally I had to be driven into school and picked up.
Right.
And it was 7 miles in. And but when I got bigger, I'd ride my bike one way, ride it in the either my dad or my mother used to have to come into town almost every day anyway. My dad on government business, or Mother for shopping and so on. So I'd ride my bike in the morning and leave it at a friend's house overnight, and they'd drive me home and drive me in the next morning, and then I'd ride my bike home that night. And that was more or less the routine.
That's quite a ways. That must be, what, 6 miles?
7 miles.
7 miles, yeah. Huh.
And anyway...
in the winter, the roads...
Yes, very often the road was closed in the winter. Banff only had one snowplow, which wasn't a snowplow, it was a road grader. And of course the Minnewanka Road was about the last thing that got tended to.
So how did you?
So Mother and I would, if it was a bad winter, we'd move into town and rent a suite or something in town for maybe January and February, and so that was the routine. It didn't happen every winter, but we got snowed in at Christmas time one time, and it looked as though we weren't going to get our turkey or our Christmas mail or anything. We had perfect communications by telephone, but that was it. And the day before Christmas, I was out building a snow fort or something out at the front of the house, and I heard sleigh bells.
Sleigh bells.
And I guess I was about 6 or 7 at the time, and I didn't believe in Santa anymore, but it was a very strange feeling. And over the hill came Ike Mills with his dog team,
Oh, yeah.
and he had all our Christmas mail and our groceries and everything on.
Yeah.
So
So it was like a Santa Claus.
it was just like Santa Claus. And the picture of Ike Mills as Santa Claus makes all the old timers in Banff really hoot, because he was a real rough old character.
Yeah. I know the name is legendary in the Banff area.
Right.
To give you an idea, he married a woman who was a very fine cellist who used to come and play at the Banff Springs.
Right.
She was from down east somewhere. And how she happened to marry Ike Mills, I have no idea, because I can't imagine they had anything in common. But he got irritated with her playing her cello one night and smashed it. You know, that's the kind of guy he was, not very nice.
That's awful.